All right, guys, so we're still waiting on Vandal's pump for the M6. So today we're going to do the reseal kit for the rack and pinion. Now, you remember on the blue car, we had a little bit of drip out of where the steering shaft hooked on, right? Speaking of a little drip, I've seen a big drip. And we put the Lucas conditioner in it. I seemed to fix it. It still had a little bit of a seepage, but while we had this one out on the floor, I have the elusive, and it is elusive, rebuild kit for this little section here. So we have two different seals, and then we have some O-rings that go around the bolts and stuff. Now this thing's probably not going to need all this. We just mainly need the seal that goes right under this plastic cover right here. So if I can pull that off, we'll have to get pliers and pull that off. Ew, look at that. And so let's go ahead and do that. First thing we got to do, there's 3 tins to take this shield off. There's 2 big Allen bolts that mount this head to the rack and pinion. We're going to take the 2 lines out, and we should be able to slip the whole thing off at that point. Remove this. Do a little bit of that, and that one is not going to fit in there. I'm going to give her a little, there we go, one of those deals. I'll loosen up just a little bit more. We should be able to turn out with your fingers. Let's go and retire our rag to the floor here. We're dripping all over the floor, which nobody wants that. Now we did dump this out the best we could. There should not be a lot of fluid in this. Well, we're about to see. We're about to find out for real. All right. So put this one over here. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with this. All right. It looks so easy because it's not in the car. Doing this in the car, you got to take the subframe down. You may be able to get that rack and pinion out. I don't know. I don't think you can. So let's grab, I think maybe our dead blow. Let's tap up here and see if we can get this whole thing to come off all in one piece. She's a little oily, boys. She's a little oily. And there we are. So just remember orientation. Our motor goes to the bottom. There's only 2 bolts, so only go 2 different ways. You can see here, there's an O-ring. Here it was not leaking there, but we're going to replace that. The seal down in there is what the problem was. All right. So let's go ahead and put this over here like so. This is the seal at fault. You can see down in there, hopefully. I'll give her a good wipe. You can see there was oil past the seal. And probably going to have to do which way it knocks in. We determine that by opening our bag of seals here and see what the deal is. So, what we got going on down here? We'll just take a look. There's another seal. Looks like that's the one right there, or is it not? It's debatable, highly debatable. But our small one, which is leaking, is going to be probably this one right here. Set that down there. And this is the remaining one. I tried to buy just this one. This kit was about $89. Jesus, don't ask me where I got this. It was a nightmare. I had to buy it off Facebook. I can't remember where I even bought this from. I thought about just buying like several of these, just have them laying around. So when we have this issue, it's just a quick 5-minute deal and you're done. So just kind of looking at this to see, we're probably going to have to knock this seal out of the bottom because it cannot come out of the top. We'll put that right there like so. And we have our seal puller. Let's go ahead and try that first. That's not going to work. So what we may have to do is get a socket just the right size and tap that out. I cannot push it out with the seal tool. We just have a socket goes like this. And we just knock it right out like so. And we did it so well, we knocked the outer ring off too, which is fine. We got to replace that either way. But here's the seal that was leaking. Can we see anything wrong with it? I mean, it's kind of like hard. Yeah, actually it's very hard. And that's gonna be your issue. So now we need to reinstall. So what we need to do is find a socket that is a little bit bigger so we could put the whole thing in one go. We need to go to the outside edge of it like that. Put a little bit of grease on that bad boy on the outside. We don't want to roll the seal over or be hard to push in. We want it to go real nice and smooth. This is our petroleum-less water-based grease. Let's go ahead and drop this in there correctly. Like so. We're going to put this socket down in there. And let's take a look. It needs to go a little bit further. You can see the gap on this side. It's all the way flush up against the front of it. See? And that's how you know you're good. That's how you know. And then, so are we going to do this seal? That's the next thing. There's our bearing. We'll definitely do the 2 seals in these. We'll definitely do a new one of these. But we got like a whole sack of stuff. So let's tally up what's what. We also have a new ring for this. We'll probably do that while we're here for sure. But do we need to do all this stuff? No, we don't. It was only leaking out of the one. Like that. All right? And when we put this down on there, that'll seal against that. And that'll be done. Then we left with all these. So we got these two for these. We have another one for this one. So that's 3. And there's a tiny little one. And there's 2 more. And then here is our big giant seal. Let's replace the seal on the motor and these 2 O-rings, and let's call it a day. There's nothing that we could see leaking out of here, but I still feel like I should try to get it off of there. That may not be in the cards for us. It's like it's not going to be in the cards for us. We just have to leave it. And that is the right bit. Nope, they're as soft as butter. We're not going to do that. I don't want to break one of those. We have no problems there. Leave it good enough. Leave her good enough alone. And we could take vice grips and turn them out. The problem with that, if you go and do that, let's try it. Let's try it. Scary is what that is. We'll go the extra mile for you guys. Seems like a very, very bad idea. Stop. You gotta know when to stop. Like I said, Nathan didn't replace the seal on that motor. Nathan's not a stupid fool, and Nathan's not going to break those off. We snap those off in there. This is a $2,600 rack and pinion. Awesome. Let's stop. We're going to reassemble this bad boy. The best thing about being a mechanic is you have to know when to say enough's enough. So let's grab our little seal removal tool. Let's replace the 2 O-rings in our lines here. That's a pretty good deal. We bought those at the auto parts store. And Phil's actually the one that said, "Do you need to buy those?" Because we're always taking O-rings out with like picks and crap. And hell, it took those right out, no problem at all. So right there was worth how much were those? $10. $10-ish, yeah. The thing is, that is not Pentasyn in that. That's like some just straight out Chevy power steering fluid, period. We also did buy a new reservoir, power steering reservoir for this car. It was drippy. You can see it's on the car over there. It's just nasty. And I thought, you know what, for 20 bucks, why the hell not, right? It's gonna save the future owner of this car some aggravation and some money to not have to do that. So what do we need to do? We need to measure this or get the dimensions off of this in order like a whole bucket of these. Every time we do one of these cars, so we got this out, 5 minutes, put this on and do it. And we think about doing that with the Vanos pumps too. The rebuild kits were 400 bucks for the Vanos pump. That was new gear, that was new bearing and the seals. We may incorporate into our situation here that we automatically do that. This stuff would make the price of doing the rod bearings on one of these deals, you're probably in at around 1,100-1,200 bucks at that point, just in parts. But that's gonna save you a lot of aggravation down the road for sure. So let's go back into here. Our motor goes down. Like so. And we can't forget to put our little deal here on. A little something like that. And then we'll go and reinstall our main bolts here. Snug them up real good. Don't get stupid with them because it's oil rings. It's not a crush washer. Okay, so that's all good. We're gonna reinstall these. We're pretty much done here. I mean, overall, this is not a bad deal. If I could find a link, guys, I'll put it below. We're at the point now to where, like, we need these, these kits. And if I go put all the links to everything, what happens is, whenever we go to buy stuff next time, they're sold out. And we made that mistake with the rod bolts a couple times. And now the ARP rod bolts are like on a month back order. So we got to find Dwayne's some rod bolts for his car like ASAP. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where we're at with this stuff. No. Okay, we'll finish it up. We'll be right back. All right, so we're all back together. Everything's done. We have the part number for that. I'm going to try to source that for you guys and do it that way. And because literally, let's be honest here, that's like a 20-cent seal. That's the only one that ever goes bad. All the rest are standard oil rings. If you have another leak, you always just replace it with that. So let's try to figure this out for you guys, for everybody with the E60. And this is the same as E90 stuff, E60, and there's a couple more. But I'll try to do that for you guys, figure that out, put a link for the seals up maybe. That's not going to benefit me, but who gives a rat's ass at this point in time, right? We want to make it possible for somebody to buy this seal and do this job at low cost. That's it, guys. We'll see y'all later.